Shut up and sit down.
The Doug and Joe Show. Our 2 cents.
That you didn't even ask for.
They didn't ask? Should we keep going? The show about nothing and everything all at once. Dun 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 dun! It's here, Doug.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. The trailer went pretty well. We've got some I'd say eyeballs on it because I'm used to film, but we got some ears on it.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some ears on this one too.
Yes, indeed, sir. So today, folks, welcome to the Doug and Joe Show. I'm Joe. This is
Doug.
And we're going to talk about our top 5 because you probably don't care.
Our
the
top
2
5
cents.
what?
Top 5 what?
The top 5 what?
I'll make them wait. It's our 2 cents.
That you didn't ask for.
That you didn't ask for. The top 5 TV shows that we're
Yes.
currently either watching or liking. Our favorites.
Well,
Right.
our favorites are top 5, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I think we're going to start with one of our top ones for both of us.
yeah. 'Cause you introduce, before we tell them what it is, I want to give them a little backstory on what's going on here. And this is gonna this is gonna really decide for the listeners here, Doug, if they're gonna like Joe Todd or they're gonna hate Joe Todd. I'm telling you that right now. So Joe Todd is not against alternative lifestyles. I'm not against gay people or transgender or
God! Oh my 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 God!
Oh my God, what's happening?
I saw hell is what's happening. Oh my God!
any of these things. My mother-in-law's a lesbian or gay or whatever the correct terminology is. I'm not against it at all, but I have a problem with watching a lot of films and television with it in there because it's a little overdone or it's thrown in there just to be in there. And Doug said, "Hey, you gotta watch this show called Schitts Creek." I said, "Pardon your language, Douglas." And he says, "It's really good." And I'm like, I saw there's like a gay actor in there, and I don't really like shows like that. Like the what was it, Dharma and Greg or Bob and Susie
I
or
never watched that, but
they drive me nuts because they're just a little too over the top for me. And it's nothing against their lifestyle. It's just I don't like it thrown in my face. But he said, Schitts Creek, you gotta watch it. And oh my goodness, I fell in love with this gay. Let me back that up. Let me reword that. I really enjoyed this character, and I thought it was fun. I actually really, really enjoyed. I think he was the best part of the show.
yeah, Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy, one of the writers with his dad, wrote the Schitts Creek.
Yeah, and he's an amazing, passionate, and how could you not fall in love with a character that he plays?
Absolutely. I mean, he started out, like, he wasn't actually gay. He was whatever. I don't know the terminology for it. It wasn't, he didn't like girls, he didn't care what you were. If he liked you, he would date you.
Which for me,
yeah,
I don't really care.
No.
As long as people are happy with each other, whatever you do, hey, be happy. So, so when
I'm not judging their lifestyle.
Yeah, so when I told you the show and all that, and you're like, well, I said, listen, it's not thrown in your face. It's just a part of life, but the comedy and the way it's written is fabulous.
It's genius. We got 80 episodes spread over 6 seasons. The series follows the trials and tribulations of the formerly wealthy Rose family. They were just butt loaded with money, and then they were thrown into Schitts Creek.
Ew, 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 ew.
What a name for a town.
Yeah.
Schitts Creek, and that's exactly what it was. Up Schitts Creek without a paddle. I think they were kind of playing on that a little bit.
Yeah. It's a great show. Eugene Levy, his son Daniel, his daughter.
His daughter's in it. She's the waitress.
Catherine O'Hara is fabulous.
Genius back in the SCTV days.
Tired of ordinary television? Don't touch that dial. SCTV is now on the air.
Canadians,
eh?
Throw that out there. And the Emmys this year, they just wrapped up. Right? What did they win?
They were nominated for 19 Emmys.
Yeah.
And they got 9 of them.
Oh, we get one of these.
Yeah, a record, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're talking outstanding sound mixing for a comedy drama series, outstanding writing for a comedy series, outstanding writing for a comedy series twice. What's that? The happy ending, and they also got the episode was called The Presidential Suite. That was the one where the couples were fighting over who was. They said, "Oh, no one should get the hotel room, the presidential suite." And they both show up. That was funny. And then outstanding supporting actor with Daniel Levy. Like, I didn't even know he had a kid. And
let alone more than one.
And this guy is just genius. Outstanding casting for a comedy series. Outstanding contemporary costumes. Well, talk about costumes. Catherine O'Hara, what she wore was insane all the time.
She was like an ex-actress, and she was still living in that Hollywood-style lifestyle.
For a terrible drama like Young and the Restless type, and it was really bad. Outstanding director, or directing. Outstanding single-camera picture editing for a comedy series. For 2 episodes. Outstanding contemporary hairstyling, because they had great hair in it, I guess. Well, Catherine O'Hara had terrible hair in the whole thing.
Well,
I'm not a hair guy.
I'm not a hair guy either. My hair's terrible. So.
Yeah. But we did see that one picture of Doug on our Facebook page there. A little flashback. Outstanding contemporary makeup. And the lead actor, of course, Eugene Levy. How long has he been around? I mean, SCTV days is when I was first introduced to him.
Yeah.
And he was probably one of the funniest. I'd say second to only John Candy on that show.
Yeah, there were a lot of great people on that show at SCTV. I mean, that we could do a whole show on that.
Oh my, and I think we will, because we're big fans of SCTV.
Catherine O'Hara, leading actress.
Leading actress in a comedy series. Now she won an award. And then outstanding supporting actress, of course, Annie Murphy, which is Alexis Rose. I think that's...
Which is Eugene's daughter.
Eugene's daughter.
Yeah.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And then outstanding comedy series, outstanding contemporary costumes, another lead actor, a bunch of them. I'm not going to go through them all, even though I pretty much did. Just phenomenal. 80 episodes. I was so disappointed when the last one was on.
Yeah, I know I heard Dan Levy going on a show saying that if they ever did get back together to do something, it would have to be worth it for everybody's time and really good. But they were going to do that little tour, the live tour.
Yeah.
They were due at Casino Rama.
Yeah.
But COVID canceled that.
COVID canceled a lot of things.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm going to go on record. F you, COVID. Absolutely.
CV19er. Out the door.
Yeah, out the door. And don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. But so... There's actually filmed near Bancroft, I believe. We're coming out of the Ontario area.
There's a few areas out near Stouffville is another location site. And I believe, didn't you audition to be on the show or something to that effect? Didn't you have going to be an extra or something on there?
I don't know.
That's what you told me. But anyways, moving on.
That must have been such a bad lie. I don't even remember. Moving on, I'm going to go to my second pick.
Well, yeah. So if you haven't seen Schitts Creek,
please watch it. Please watch it. Binge watch it, as the cool kids are saying.
It's funny.
Netflix and chill, or whatever you do, and definitely watch it, because it's definitely worth it. And thank you, the great Doug Taylor, for recommending that show to me, because I got to watch it with my wife. My wife and I don't get to watch a lot of movies or shows together because we have different interests as far as that's
You're welcome, Joe the Voice. Hey, what the heck?
Oh,
Somebody's here.
So that was our alarm to go to the next the next topic here. The next show, which is The Boys. Have you got a hold of this one yet? The Boys. It's on Prime.
No.
A lot of people don't realize this. If you have Amazon Prime and you get packages delivered and things like that, Prime Video is included in your $9.99 a month.
Yeah, I have it. And there's a lot of free shows on it. And there's
some you have to
can
subscribe
pay
to.
for. Yeah.
But Boys is one of them. It's in its second season. There's a new episode every week. And it's really a really new, fresh take on superheroes.
Oh, okay.
So the superheroes are, they're a-holes. It's plain and simple. They're a bunch of a-holes. Most of them are, say in public that they're the good guy, and then they won't save someone. They're like, oh, I'll let the plane crash. It's fine. It's fine.
Are they young?
Some of them are young. Some of them are old. There's one in there that looks young, but she's actually over 70 years old.
Oh, okay. Because of
And
superheroes.
then Elizabeth Shue's in it. She ends up dying. Spoiler alert. She ends up dying, but she looks amazing. If anybody doesn't remember her, she's from the Karate Kid days. A lot of the 80s movies.
Yeah.
Very good actress. One I do recommend, but it's not for the faint at heart. Another spoiler alert, but I have to throw it out there so you know what kind of show you're getting into. A lot of blood and guts, and one guy's manhood grows and chokes you. So there's that. So it's not your typical Superman clean cut family values. It's
plus 18.
Yeah, I would say definitely plus 18. There was some scenes my boy jumped in for and it was a little uncomfortable father-son watching moments.
Alrighty.
So that's my pick. So I definitely recommend that one. What's next on your list, Doug?
I'm currently almost at the end. Anyways, is a show called Justified. It was on between 2010 and 2015, 6 seasons. So it's about Raylan Givens. It's an explosive. He's a Western-style gunslinger, U.S. deputy marshal. Gets into trouble in Miami and gets shipped back home to Kentucky, to the Kentucky office. And so it's one of those cops and robbers shows where he's confronting murder, drugs, and bank heists, and mobsters, crime families. Bad politicians, even all the criminals from his area where he grew up, even his dad, type of thing. But he's a gunslinger. He's very accurate with his gun. If he doesn't pull his gun often, but when he does, he shoots the kill type of thing.
So he feels he's justified in these.
Yeah, he does have justification when he does. He warns them. He's like, "Listen, if you take one more step towards me, I am going to shoot you." Right?
Well, he did warn him, but
it's
like the old saying, though: justification is the grease on the slide pole to hell. But you gotta be careful there. Sounds like a good flick. If you're into westerns and cop movies.
Yeah, it's not really a western, but he's a U.S. deputy marshal. He wears a Stetson and a cowboy hat, and so he takes on that persona.
Yeah.
And wears his gun on his hip type of thing.
Your type of guy.
But very, very, very witty humor, a little bit dry humor, and how there's the little stories throughout the longer story. It's based on books. The short stories of Raylan Givens. Excellent, funny, cops and robbers type show.
Do you know that we're not allowed to shoot people on sight anymore?
It was justified.
Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it.
Boyd Crowder, played by Marlon Googins, is a fabulous counter, guy that he grew up with that. They're trying to take down with all the other guys involved. It's a great show.
Justified.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Where are you watching it right now? On Netflix or? Yeah,
so it's on. You can find it on different streaming platforms because it's older. I don't think it's on Netflix at the moment, but you have to look it up.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to my next one on my list is Oak Island. This is more of a documentary style, not really a storyline per se, but they make it really good. And some of the things that make it really good is the mystery. What the heck is underneath the ground? They're looking for what might be buried under there. We're talking American presidents have been looking for the gold there.
The treasures of Oak Island.
The treasures of Oak Island. And there's so much intrigue what it could be, but also the two brothers that really head up the show just have this passion for it. Marty and did you watch it?
No. I know what you're talking about.
But you've heard of
it. I've seen a little bits of it.
So, I mean, it's just, you want to see what they find next. And it could be a twig. It could be, I mean, it's always something. It could be a diamond. It could be a
from
coin.
Romans time or
They
whatever.
found a coin from the 1300s, a Spanish galleon coin.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be it could be on Oak Island. It could be anything. It could be from the Holy Grail to Spanish treasure to the Captain Kidd's treasures.
That show's been on a long time, right?
It has been in a long time.
It kind of reminds me of those shows like the Ghost Hunter shows and all that. It's like, oh, what's behind this corner?
Exactly.
It's
What
and
did
then
that? And
pull back the curtain
and nothing.
Geraldo Rivera's vault empty. Right? So.
But it's definitely recommended, especially because of the narrator.
Yeah.
So the narrator, he's done other shows like the Gold Rushes and things like that. And this is on the History Channel. And he makes the show too. It's just the way he portrays it and narrates it. It makes the show good as well.
Cool.
What's your next one?
Well, Longmire.
Longmire. I've heard of this one. Again, we're going a little Western here. There's a theme happening here, folks.
So it's Justified is kind of, it's Kentucky and down there. Longmire is in, Walt Longmire, he's an older, unflappable sheriff from Absaroka County, Wyoming. There's no such county as that. I think that's a made-up county, but it's down in Wyoming. He's a recent widower. He's fighting with that. Again, a cowboy wearing, sheriff of a small town, and they're dealing with, the mobsters and the Native American reserve is right there. So the stuff that happens on the reserve and off the reserve, and it's a great short. I think it was only 5 or 6 seasons long again, but very witty, and the stories entailed in it together, or it's just like Justified, right?
Right.
I think I'm going for a theme here, right?
I think you are going for a theme here, so we know what we're watching when we go to Doug's house.
Yeah, Longmire. I believe that's on Netflix. Definitely, that's a good watch too.
Now Doug lives in a cabin, 2 cabins put together in the woods. Do you think that just like makes you want to watch these shows, or does it make the viewing experience better, possibly, because you're actually in a cabin?
I don't know. I think I just like that good guy, bad guy battle.
And I think that's our generation, too. I mean, I'm a little bit behind you on the generation, but even my generation and your generation, we like the storyline of the good guy versus the bad guy, and the good guy wins. The storylines today, it's like, let's celebrate the bad guy and his wins. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm for that.
Yeah, you're kind of more towards the comic book area, right? I wasn't a comic book guy, so what's next?
What's next? On my list is Kobra Kai. Bringing back the 1980 classic Karate Kid, renaming it, and we just talked about the good guys and bad guys. This is Daniel LaRusso versus Johnny Lawrence. It's incredible. We're on season 2 so far, and this started, actually, a lot of people don't know, on YouTube Red.
Yeah.
And some of our listeners are like, what's YouTube Red? Is it a different color? No, it's always been red.
Do you think they talk like that?
I think they talk exactly like that.
Oh, boy.
See, again, they're going to really decide whether they like Joe Todd or hate Joe Todd. But YouTube Red, and then Netflix picked it up in spades. Just phenomenal. You've got the story of the Karate Kid told by the so-called bully, but they're making you think that he was actually the good guy the whole time, and Daniel was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to change his life and change the Kobra Kai way. And Daniel's like, wait, that almost ruined my life. And he's trying to stop it.
Thinks he can bring Kobra Kai back to the valley? Yeah. Not on my watch.
So it's pretty interesting. Some old characters come in, some new characters come in, and it's done really well. And and what's really cool about it is they totally throw you back in the 80s.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy drama.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely a comedy drama. Season 3 is already slotted, but it's they're making you wait. They're making everybody catch up because I think it was on YouTube Red, jumped over to Netflix. They want everybody to binge watch, but they forget sometimes that people will watch that in a night, a whole season. And it's season 3's coming, and it's quite interesting. So
wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off, and you got to check it out. They've done it so much justice. So many times has movies and TV shows tried to recapture the magic, so to speak, of a previous movie or TV show and failed miserably. They've gone the opposite direction and totally succeeded. And you haven't seen this?
It's kind of like, yeah, you told me about it a long time ago. It's the characters' lives, basically, now that they're older, right?
Now that they're older, but also they found footage from the original movie that they never used, that didn't make the cutting floor, and used it. So you're seeing the original fight and original scenes from a whole different view that you couldn't even go to the movie for.
Very good, very
so
good.
It makes it really cool. So what's the last one on your list?
My last one, my third one.
Third one. Oh, am I skipping ahead and doing more than you?
I don't know.
1, 2. I've done 3. Go ahead. What's your third one?
Well, guess where we're going back to? Montana, Yellowstone.
No.
The Midwestern theme.
I can't
Have
believe
you seen
it. Doug?
Yellowstone?
No.
So Yellowstone, Kevin Costner, he's the head of the Dutton family. They control the largest contiguous ranch in the United States. And they're fighting against land developers, the American Native American Indian Reserve that wants their land back, want to build casinos. And it's the fight of that family trying to hold that land against, all the new developers and people that want to change that land.
So what was the time frame based in? Like horse and buggy days? Like
No, it's now.
Now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize Yellowstone. I thought Yellowstone was just a park, but there's
Yellowstone
residential as well. Like
no.
people...
Well, Yellowstone is a park, but it encompasses, I think, 3 or 4 states, right? It's a little bit in Montana. It's a little bit in whatever the other 2
like
states
the Rocky
are
Mountains.
Right there.
It stretches from Canada to the U.S.
Well, it's around there. Most of it's in a different state, but these people's ranch is in Montana, and the ranch is called Yellowstone Ranch. They're close to the border of Yellowstone, but they're not in Yellowstone Park.
Not a great place to be now, as I hear. I hear there's a super volcano under there. Wonder if that's season 6 or 7.
2020, but again, it's a great intrigue. How the family's fighting all these other people for land, and it's a good Western. Back to how rodeos and how real cowboys, looked after the land and with their cattle and all the rest. It's a great show. Just waiting for season 3 to start.
There's still this theme that's reoccurring here, though.
Yep, I gotta know that too. So.
I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
I have to check that one out. Kevin Costner, usually a movie man. A lot of them are turned into TV.
Yeah, he does a fabulous job. It's a great show. Again, if you like that, Western kind of good guy, bad guy theme, it's in there. A lot of twists and turns in it, definitely.
Twists and turns. All right. Well, my final one is The 100. This is a cool. I'm all about if there's a recurring theme about, for me it's sci-fi, mystery, I guess, and comedy. I think I'm all over the board, more me. But The 100 is Earth destroyed each other. There's apparently nobody on Earth. They all live in spaceships. There's different countries, but instead of a continent, they're on ships. And their ship starts dying. They don't have enough oxygen up there, so they have no choice but to go to the ground. Now they have 100 prisoners on the ship. They're all kids, because if they're anything over kids, if they're over a certain age, they get sent out a damn airlock. They talk about the Old West. I mean, they just send them out an airlock. See ya. So they send 100 kids to the ground to see if they could survive.
And then they gotta colonize and live down there.
They have to colonize, but they find out they're not alone. There is people down there, so there's conflict with that. And then the ships, they can't go anymore, and they crash down. So it's just incredible. It's going on and on and on. I don't know how many seasons there are now, but there's a lot of seasons.
Sci-fi.
I'm a big sci-fi nut.
Nice.
I think sci-fi is probably my favorite genre. I think Western, or at least good guy, bad guy, is your favorite genre.
Well, yeah. And I think that was your number 4.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said them all.
Well,
so I don't know how you got
I'll
behind,
tell you what my next one is. Ozark.
Money is, at its essence, that measure of a man's choices.
Oh,
Jason Bateman.
he is one of the most underrated actors, I believe, in Hollywood today. He's so versatile.
So Ozark's about a financial advisor that gets mixed up with the wrong crowd, cartel and drugs and all that kind of stuff. And he's got to move his family from Chicago to Missouri in the Ozarks, where he's got to launder like $500 million or something to keep his family alive. And again, this is another, they start making morality choices to keep their family alive, and the twists and turns in this just keep going and going.
I think the funniest part of the movie,
the more they try to get out of it, the deeper they get.
They do. But the funniest part is when they buy this house.
Yeah.
The deal was they got it so cheap, but the deal was they got the old man.
He had to live. Yeah.
And he liked to run in the lake naked.
That's right.
Yeah. So what was his Buck or Bud? Bud. What a show. I mean, you can't wait for the next season. And that's another one that has a lull in between seasons that make you wait.
It's better when the shows are over, and then you can just stream it and power watch it, right?
Absolutely. Don't nothing worse than you watch an episode and you got to wait for the next one. Like
Monday on MASH, Hot Lip's father visits MASH, but is she nervous?
Hair could use a little trim.
Next on House Calls, a nurse poses for a centerfold, and Charlie and Ann examine her other career. Then on Lou Grant, the Trib is sued for libel. Can Lou fight it? I'm already in contempt. It's all Monday, starting at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
how did people live like that? Oh, I gotta wait till Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern in order to watch my show. How did we ever live like that?
My last one is Ray Donovan.
Never even heard of that one.
So Ray Donovan is Lee Shriver, who I met when I was on the set with Goons. He was the washed up fighter.
Yes, little fun fact there. Doug was on the set of Goon.
Goon 2.
He was being a hockey guy. They actually filmed that in Barrie, Ontario, in the Molson Center part of it. So the Barrie Molson Center.
But Ray Donovan, he's so this is in LA, and he does all the dirty work for LA's top power play. He cleans up all their messes, and for all the he's the go-to guy, right? Whenever there's problems, celebrities or superstars get into business, trouble, whatever, he's there to clean it up. And politicians, and it's a whole story around his family that was from Boston, and going out there. And it was a great series. It just ended abruptly, actually. They didn't even know it was going to end. But again, it's another one where he's kind of a bad guy doing what he does, but he's doing stuff for his family, and and trying to do good, but he keeps getting dragged into the bad side of the stuff. And he gets tangled with all the cops and the police trying to figure out what's going on. And a good and bad situation again, right? It's a very good show. He plays a great character. These characters in the shows that I watch always have that one lead guy that you fall in love with, right? Like
Daniel Levy.
And
Eugene
and
Levy.
Schitts Creek. They make you fall in love with that character.
And I think that's
right?
the basis of any good show. The characters, you got to
Good
love
or-
them.
good
Or you're
or
not
bad.
good or bad. You got to love or hate them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're not going to watch that show.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's like, Ray Donovan, he's really a criminal. But when, the police are close to catch him, you're kind of rooting for Ray to get out of it somehow. It's like, wait, I'm voting for the criminal here. Right?
Like in Ozark with...
Ozark.
Yeah, you're rooting for them, but they're absolutely the worst people.
Yeah. So those are the ones that captivate my attention.
Yeah, and those are the ones that captivate. We want to hear from you guys. So we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got Twitter. We've got technically
we got a
YouTube.
Facebook group that you can go and join, and we'll put our shows up on there, and we'd like to hear from you and what would be
What's
your
your
top
favorites?
5.
Yeah, your
what
top
do you think
5?
of our top 5?
Yeah. And then what kind of topics you want to hear on the show. I mean, we're going to make them up as we go. As we said, show about nothing and everything all at once. Our 2 cents.
That you didn't ask for.
So we're hoping to hear from you. And but that's our show. I think we're going to talk about next week.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know, because I don't even think we know.
Follow us on Facebook, and it'll be posted there.
But maybe it's one that you suggest.
It might be.
It might be a topic that you suggest. But we're going to cover, like we said, local sports. We're going to cover topics of wide range. Politics, COVID, lots of things. Our opinion, 2 cents that...
You didn't ask for.
That's all it is.
All right.
So for Joe...
I used to think that every good memory knocked a hair out of your head. So when you see an old bald guy, you know he's had a pretty good life.
And Doug?
We're rooting for you. Keep your stick on the ice, as the old guys used to say.
Oh, my finger.
It's over. Time for a cold snack.